I don't know if I uploaded it or not, but I talked about nostalgia not too long ago, and specifically how I was trying to relive a moment again, even though moments only happen once. And that was basically the concept of the video. I don't know if I'm going to drop it or not, but in that video, I was talking about listening to some artists that I listened to when I was a bit younger, like in middle school, high school, and specifically newer albums that they were coming out with, while I was also playing. Uh, Old PlayStation 2 games on like an emulator, don't get me. Sony. But yeah, and I was just really nostalgia heavy that day. Yo, what's up and welcome back. It's back to Angel's Reach. Of course, as always, I'm Angel, and today I wanted to talk about that Utz bag of chips back there. Completely tying the scenery of this video together. But no, I wanted to talk about what did I want to talk about? No, I wanted to talk about the album specifically, um, Piss in the Wind by Joji. Whoop, I'm already messing up. Piss in the Wind by Joji. It's his most recent release. He's outside of his label with his previous label was 88 Rising. I think he dropped like two projects under them. And I want to say he's now independent, if not like with some like independent label or something like that. But I gave it a listen, and I was fairly lenient, I want to say, with my listen. But I ended up loving like a bunch of songs, and then I think a total of maybe two or three songs, maybe two songs. I think now that I'm thinking back on it, like I was like, I'm not gonna keep this, or I'm not gonna download it. I'm just gonna like have it in my library, and if I put all my songs on shuffle, it'd be cool if it comes up. But I didn't want to like have it taking up space because it wasn't a song that I think I would go back to, or they weren't songs I would go back to. And so, but for the most part, the entire album I think was fantastic. I think it was such a great listen, and I mean, it was all about like heartbreak and stuff. And then the reason I wanted to post this video is because I got a wave of inspiration because my brother's not here, so I can record. But also, he's watching Iron Lung right now. I kind of wanted to go with him, but like I'll save it off until like later. I kind of wanted to stay home, but well, I got a wave of inspiration because Joji posted on his Instagram, and he said like he apologized for the doppelganger. If you don't know, he like did a lot of press and like a lot of stuff for the album rollout with like a fake Joji, like a doppelganger sort of thing that wasn't actually him. He said it was really funny, and he apologized for it. He also said that there's more to come throughout the year, or there's more to come later this year, and that what did he say? What else did he say? I'm not gonna look back at the post because I'm like too stubborn to it. I don't want to waste more time than I already have, but I'm kind of killing time now explaining that and now explaining the explanation. So let's lock in really quickly. Tee up. What was that? I meant to do this. I meant to do like how like or like not that. What is the thing like when people are thinking? Hmm. This thing? Hmm. That kind of looks like Lethal Weapon. Okay, what? Okay, hold up, stop. Lethal Weapon 2, by the way. But oh my gosh, I gotta stop doing this. I gotta stop doing this. I keep going on tangents. Yeah, Joji's person when he basically apologized for the doppelganger thing. He said there's gonna be more music later on, and then the second slide was and he also said that was his first song. This is his first album or project independent of a label, and so that's super dope. He had like a lot of creative liberty in this one, and you can tell there was a lot of his previous stuff in it. I think I might have said a ballads one, and there's a lot of songs on that it sounded like specifically like Give Me Love. I think was Give Me Love on. No, I think Give Me Love was on. Um, Oh my God, what's the Nectar? That's the album I'm thinking of that he released under 88 Rising. But I mean, hindsight is 2020. But like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Nectar, and then I remember the other Smithereens came out, and I also wasn't the biggest fan of that. And I don't want to say I could tell he wasn't there creatively, but it just wasn't. It didn't sound too much like older Joji stuff, like Chloe Burbank Joji and stuff that I wanted. And but I kind of realized like, hey, if you want my old music, buy my old album, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like if you want to hear somebody's like older style of music, either look for someone that sounds like that or just listen to the old stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like people are meant to like evolve and learn more stuff, and become more complicated and do more. I just don't trap yourself in a box. Is basically what I'm saying. Jeez, my I gotta stop. I gotta stop losing the focus of it. Um, but yeah, but I think it was like a two slide Instagram post, and then the second slide was a definition of "Piss in the Wind," which is the name of the album. Oh wait, I was gonna say, aside from the Nectar thing, he also had a lot of sounds that were similar to Will He and In Tongues, that EP, specifically the song Will He, but like In Tongues in general, that short compilation of songs had a lot, specifically the drums and the heavy, or like the raw stripped backness of it all, and like the drums. I think I already said drums, but like the drums are really what make it like an older Joji track, like garage band sort of stuff, not too polished. Really, really dope, short, raw stuff, and that's what they call my me. Hey, okay, but the second slide was a definition of piss in the wind, which was, and okay, you know what? I'm gonna read this because that is appropriate. I feel like I don't want to get the definition of it wrong because it's just like right there, so I'm not gonna get it wrong. But the thing says, piss in the wind, to do something totally pointless, fruitless, or futile, to waste one's time doing something that will not or cannot come to pass. Now, seeing that the album has ever so much to do with heartbreak, and basically every song is like either a heartbreak or like the loss of love or dealing with that, or the up and coming uh the impending doom of a breakup, you know what I mean? Despite all of this being like a main part of the album, I also think that this album was a piss in the wind, you know. And this isn't like reinventing the wheel or anything like that, but once he said that that he's making music later this year, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then this really was like just probably a bunch of ideas he had that he wanted to get out, just a bunch of sounds and stuff he was working on, a bunch of uh just like moments, because like if you're not familiar with Joji, or specifically his album that came out recently, Piss in the Wind, it is like a 9 track, I think, 45-minute ordeal, which had like 3 singles. So if you like already listened to the singles that released, there's probably only like 6 songs. There's only 6 songs. Oh my gosh. There's only 6 songs, and they're all really dope. They're all very inspired by his previous works. He takes a lot of the elements from his older albums, a lot of the songs off like Nectar, even Ballads One and In Tongues, and some of his older work from Chloe Burbank and beforehand. He takes a lot of those in like elements, specifically instrumental wise, but also like layered vocals and harmonies that sound great. He takes all of those key elements and just expounds on it like a lot. Hotel California is one of my favorite songs, and like um, I find myself like gawking at the production on this album. It's fantastic. Like the sounds are really, really like carefully crafted, and they fill out a specific ambiance. Like they really do feel like the album cover. I mean, specifically, I'll show it to you guys again. Specifically, the red and black one, because I know that there's different album covers, but they're like this like barren wasteland. Like in like a red and black, like evil, almost like upside downy. If you watch Stranger Things, you know, sort of like that dark impending doom sort of vibe. And while I do think, and while there's 100%, the album is 100% about heartbreak. Like there's no doubting about that. All of the lyrics point to like actual heartbreak, and whether that's like breaking up with like the industry, or breaking up with a label, or breaking up with himself, or breaking up with an actual partner or whatever. I'm leaning more towards partner because of like the lyrics and stuff, but it wouldn't be ridiculous to assume that he is like hiding some sort of message about how he feels about something else, with like the personification of a woman or anything like that. But a partner. And so I do understand that it is about that, but like him saying that there's more music later on the way really makes me think that like he really is like back as like a creative, as a person who wants to put music out there. Me being like the filthy Frank fanboy I am, think maybe hopefully he wants to go like a video route as well. I think he just released a music video for like Dior and the Last of a Dying Breed, if I remember correctly. I think switch those around, but I saw that, and I'm kind of biased in it. I think that he has such a great mind when it comes to like music videos or ideas, and I mean like his song wise, I think he's super dope. Like there were times that like cadence wise, he would bore me. Like someone like a Kung Fu Kenny, for example, like Kendrick Lamar has a really interesting way of not just making lines catchy or memorable, but like making them actually interesting and pleasant to hear, like away from like the regular cadence or monotone deliveries or flows that other people might have. And so, while Joji does struggle with that, I think at times, I think for the most part, like I don't need him to be like giving me Mariah Carey runs. Honestly, if he can harmonize his vocals really well and sing about heartbreak and really give that um, raw, like heartstring energy. Is that no? I don't know. If he can give like a raw, passionate, like a delivery of like a soul crushing song, like that's all I can really ask for. Like I know him for like a lot of his fun raps and stuff like that, but particularly when he gets like more serious with his music, whatever that means, he tends to go for like a slower sound, a more like angelic, beautiful sounding like song rather than like a track or a rap track or something like that. But I think a lot of the songs had very similar sounds to his previous works, and I think that that is amazing because I think in a lot of previous albums like Nectar and Ballads One, he kind of introduced these things like these sounds, and um like for example, I don't like Ballads One was his first studio release album, I believe, and then Nectar was his second one. And so like going from Ballads One to Nectar was a really big shift, other than like the dark overtones and like heavy, sad, horny sort of vibes. It didn't sound too much rhythmically like his other stuff, and so it was kind of hard to get into, but still having like his like songwriting capabilities and just like his voice. I mean like it's a catch, you know what I mean. And so having all that put together and knowing that he like is like trying and putting together elements and referring back to other things and having fun being present, like controlling his sound and really being there. Not that he probably wasn't on Nectar and Ballads One, but like I think he specifically said he is independent now. And um I don't know. I think that's just like a really like awesome wicked thing. Bad Bunny just performed at the Super Bowl. He's independent as well, or like is with a label that like has like a 90-10 split, like in his direction, you know. So like I think that's awesome as well. Um, but yeah, I think I really just wanted to talk about that. I'm a loser. I'm a burger. I don't know. Am I looking too deep into it? I think like Piss in the Wind was literally just a piss in the wind. Like this was just an album full of like a bunch of stuff and experiments and sounds that he was playing with that he wanted to release, but I feel like he maybe couldn't release under the label 88 Rising. Like no obviously hate towards them. They have like a ton of great artists. But I'm pretty sure Rich Brian is still on 88 Rising. I don't know. I listened to his last album and I kind of enjoyed it as well. But yeah, he's free of 88 Rising. He's free of 88 Rising. He's no longer with 88 Rising, and you can hear it immediately. I mean, again, not to sound like a broken record, but there's a lot of sounds that he had in his previous album that seems to be like more worked out or worked on. I don't know. A lot of those elements seem like muscles that he just like worked out really well. Maybe he was doing a lot of songwriting with 88 while under 88 Rising that he didn't want to release and stuff. This feels like that. And with more music on the way, I can safely say that like I think even on my review of the album that I did, I don't know if it was one whole video or not, but no, it was a nostalgia video, yeah. But I think I talked about whether or not it was worth it as an album, and I was like, I don't think that judging it as like an album of like whether it's worth it, like the ASAP Rocky album that recently came out. If you don't know, ASAP Rocky recently, like I think 8 years he went without releasing an album or something like that, and he recently just released. I'm not gonna look at the numbers specifically, but it's some ridiculous amount of years without dropping music, and it's like he's still like active and he's doing a lot of fashion, and of course he has his kids and his wife Rihanna, beautiful. independent black woman as is herself, you know what I mean? Like obviously they have a lot of stuff going on with their lines, and um so he came back and dropped an album, and with all that time people were just like expecting a lot more, and a lot of people did enjoy the album. I kind of had a couple songs on there that I have downloaded that I'll like play on shuffle that I wouldn't mind, but I mean, I saw people definitely saying like the wait for this is not worth it, and I mentioned that in the video talking about when I first listened to this album, about how it like needed time to grow on me, and it did. I remember like one song, "Forehead to the Ground." I remember listening to that for the first time and being like, "This, I don't know if this is gonna have any replay value." And then it came up on shuffle, and I didn't realize what song it was in the beginning. Like hooked me, and I was like, this is really dope. What song is this?" And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it!" And then some other songs were not as great as on the first listen. I think I had a lot of bias because it had just come out, and I was like, this is so beautiful, this is great. And while they were, I think I was like, this is my favorite song. I'm a star it, I'm a favorite it. When really they were just really dope downloads that I will have on shuffle, because that's usually what I do. I usually put all my songs on shuffle, and although Apple Music Shuffle isn't the best, and they'll kind of curate a vibe, and it isn't truly a random shuffle of all your songs. I mean, it's dope enough, I guess. I'll put all my songs that I have downloaded on shuffle, and I'll go from like Alicia Keys to Gorillaz to Kanye to uh, I was gonna say Bach, but no, Joplin to whatever, bro. And that is not no, whatever. No, I'm not gonna dig myself into that hole. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. The album being a piss in the wind. I mean, like obviously, again, it is talking about like a relationship where Joji kind of seemed to be like the one holding out, and then they didn't want the relationship anymore. Maybe even vice versa. I don't know, but definitely a one-sided relationship situation. And then maybe where they were being led on, because again, the definition of pissing the wind is for something that's egged on, that's futile. Um, but then also just like this being like this album being a piss in the wind and just some shit that he wanted to drop, I think is super dope. I think I'm always going to support that. Sorry, we have no budget here. I was just eating some salt and vinegar chips. But yeah, no, I don't think there's anything to say about like whether or not it's worth the hype or weight or anything like that. I'm just glad that it sounded like older stuff he did, and I'm glad he found like a way to work upon that and like add to that. And he's definitely exercising those songwriting muscles. And while he's not blowing me away with his vocals or anything like that, um, it's so great to hear him. You know what I mean? It's just so great to hear his harmonies and to hear the decisions he makes on a song, and to and see how he attacks whatever. Because like I try to think that he's pretty predictable with his delivery, but he's not. He's not as predictable as much as he is kind of flat or kind of boring. Love Joji to death, but the delivery is kind of like the muttery, sing-songy. But then when he hits those notes, man, I mean, like when he, oh gosh, he's a fantastic singer. Oh my gosh. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I just saw that post, and I have been listening to the album a ton, and I kind of wanted to maybe change my mind from the album, from the video I made not too long ago. But I don't even know if I uploaded that. I don't think I've got a pretty shit memory, so I don't think I did. But I did want to talk about it because I'm kind of excited for new music, but I'm also really excited that I was right in a way. Not to toot my own horn, but I was just like, I was like, you know what? I'm so happy that this is the album we got from Joji. Like, if this is the only music we get, like, I'm super happy. If we get something else or anything like that, that'd be great. I was delusionally like, yo, this ain't the album, Joji, right? 40 minutes, this not the album, right? But I was like, you know what? If this is what we get, then this is what we get. It's gonna be some good stuff, and it was, dude. Like some of the features on there were fantastic. Four Bats was super dope. His whole um interlude that he sort of got was dope. I was gonna say Noah Smith. No, it is Noah Smith. Yee on Rose Colored is super fantastic. Or Rose Glasses, I think it is. Or I don't know, Rose Tinted. Super dope. I didn't think I'd like it. And then Dylan Brady with the production on I forget, Sojourn, I want to say. Yeah. Dylan Brady, if you're not familiar, one half of 100 gecs. Laura Less, I think, is the other half. Super dope duo. Really love their first album, 100 or 1,000 Gex. Uh, their second album, 10,000 Gex, was dope too. I don't think I listened to it that much, but I mean, really dope stuff. And the cover, I mean, the remix album of 1,000 Gex, where they had a bunch of features like from Charlie XCX to Caro Benito and stuff. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was really dope stuff. I gotta stop ranting. Please listen to "Piss in the Wind" by Joji. It's like a 45 minute song. It's a 45 minute song. It's crazy. It's a 45 minute album. Really dope. All the tracks are like less than 3 minutes long. Um, Especially with this cold weather, I think it's a really nice listen. And I mean, maybe like a little nighttime vibe. You know what I mean? Definitely have you up missing your ex sort of thing. But no, it really is just like a colder, raw. Um, Almost bittersweet just project. It really just is like sort of a call for like help, not call for help, but like a call of like him not doing well and just like being just heartbroken and essentially devastated throughout the whole album. And I'm hoping that like he's actually doing all right, obviously, and all my parasocial shit, but just like hopefully he's doing all right, and that this is just like a piss in the wind, you know what I mean? This album is just like whatever, and then the next album will be hopefully like a super dope concept album, or maybe not even that, maybe just a ton of great music and stuff that he has worked on and that he is going to release. I don't know, it's as simple as that, you know what I mean? I was super happy to just get Piss in the Wind, and hearing we're gonna get more is dope, even if it's in December, you know, I mean, like that's super dope, both in one year. Time flies, man. I woke up like yesterday or 2 days ago, and then I was like staring out the window and I saw my mom in the morning, and she was like, "Time flies," and I was like, "Yeah, it's like there's so much snow out there." And I remember like a month ago there was like nothing, and like yeah, geez, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, I don't even know now. But yeah, no, definitely give that album a listen, and uh, I don't know, maybe there's something about a piss in the wind that can relate to like your overall life or something like that. Maybe this phase of your life is just a piss in the wind. Maybe you had a situation that was a piss in the wind, but either way, it's gonna pass. You know what I mean? These things always do. They kind of have to. You know, that's what we are designed to do. Designed to do. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys go now. It's a 20-minute ordeal. Got randomly inspired by a Joji post, but I've been re-listening to the album, dude. I highly suggest you listen to it. I think it's a great listen. I have it on when I'm listening to, well, when I'm playing some Isaac or when I'm heading to work or coming back, and it's just a vibe. It's just a really dope, interesting, alternate sort of stripped back sound that I think some people would definitely benefit from hearing. You know what I mean? Even if it's not up your alley, or um yeah, even if it's not up your alley, I just recommend checking it out. I always recommend trying to expand your palette, unless this is something you listen to all the time, and then, in which case, you're probably already on it. Uh, and if that's the case, give me your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that stuff, so you get notified whenever I post. And let me know what you think about the album if you listen to it. Are you a Joji fan? Do you hate him? Do you know about his Filthy Frank days? How do you feel about that? I could go on and on about Filthy Frank and Joji and Pink Guy and Cut. Yo, I'm dealing with amateurs. No, but really, let me know what you guys think about the album if you listen to it. If not, I recommend you listening. I recommend you listen to it. If not, whatever, man. It's your life, dog. I saw Hot Fuzz last night, and I'm gonna end it on whatever. It's just, who wants my chips, man?